Thank you all so much for being here this afternoon. I am Jessica Looman, the Executive Director of the Minnesota State Building and Construction Trades Council, representing 70,000 skilled union construction professionals working in 15 construction trades throughout our state. It will surprise no one that we have been advocating for a strong state investment infrastructure bill during the last regular session, this regular session, the last special session, and the special session that ended early this morning. It should also be no surprise that we are disappointed that the legislature failed to do its job and pass a bonding bill. Our communities need safe water, roads, and bridges, and COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on all of our communities. The best way, the most fiscally responsible way to put money directly into Minnesota communities is by funding local construction projects and keeping people working. But for us, this isn't about politics. This is about real people. Today you will hear from building trades leaders and members about the real impacts of the legislature's failure. First, I'd like to introduce David Ybarra, President of the Minnesota Pipe Trades.
Thanks, Jessica. As mentioned, David Ybarra, President, Minnesota Pipe Trades Association. We are an organization representing 11 local unions and nearly 10,000 members throughout the state of Minnesota, working in various piping-related industries in the residential, commercial, and industrial settings. Obviously, we are disappointed with the outcome of the special session relative to the lack of a bonding bill. I believe I can say with a high degree of certainty that this was the number one priority for all of us. I have no doubt that all the decision makers were aware of that and have known our position prior to convening earlier this spring. The construction industry has fared well through the COVID-related challenges the other facets of the economy have endured, having been deemed essential early on. There are signs that the industry will be adversely impacted, however. Several projects that had been scheduled to start have been delayed or canceled altogether. Pre-construction industries, such as design and engineering, have seen a dramatic decrease in projects. It goes without saying, if architects and engineers are not seeing projects, our members will be without work eventually. This makes the lack of a bonding bill even more frustrating. Bonding bills are an effective tool in helping the state minimize an economic downturn, leading to a faster recovery. Bonding allows Minnesota communities to invest in their infrastructure and built environment. We have seen the impact of public investment firsthand. The Destination Medical Center in Rochester leveraged millions of dollars in private investment for the region. Similar investments in Duluth are having a positive impact as well. In fact, each project on the bonding list will enhance the Minnesota community, protect existing assets, and expand opportunities for growth and development across the state. Interest rates remain low, so it is as affordable as it likely will be to make these necessary investments. A significant portion of the projects that had been in the bill are deferred maintenance to existing buildings and upgrades to infrastructure. Delaying these essential tasks will cost Minnesotans more in the end if buildings and infrastructure continue to deteriorate due to lack of funding. The construction industry is one largely driven by results. Finishing our work on time and on budget is a building trades mantra. There is much speculation that there will be another special session in August. I implore the leadership to roll up their collective sleeves and pass a bonding bill when they reconvene. I'll conclude by mentioning that I'm a sprinkler fitter by trade, installing fire suppression systems that protect buildings from fire. The bonding bill is similar from the perspective that investment in our infrastructure is a preventative measure to protect our assets and communities. Thank you for your attention. Now I'm going to invite Fred Livingston, a Journeyworker with Laborers Local 563, up to speak. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fred Livingston. I'm a proud member of Local 563 Laborers Union. As a young man, I joined the U.S. Marine Corps and proud to serve my nation. It was a hard adjustment coming out the Marines and living a civilian life, ran into some problems. During that time, I was able to adjust a lot better, get involved with the training I need to readjust, and to become a construction worker. I've been a laborer for 10 years. Some of the best jobs or contracts I had was the Stillwater St. Croix Bridge. It was awesome doing that because I was able to take a tugboat to work. Never done that in my life, so I was very proud of it. I've worked on the 212 interchange, Maple Grove Bridge. I've worked on Highway 62. I'm also working on the Green Line right now. Once again, my favorite job was in Stillwater. Long hours, appreciate everything I've learned there due to the bonding bill. With the bonding bill, I was able to see a lot of different projects being done and have the experience of actually doing the hands-on. Most of the neighborhoods I work in or work around are unrepresented due to the workforce shortage or the demand of minority workers. With the bonding bill, it helps the minority workers be able to reach their goals in doing construction. Construction workers put in long, hard, exhausting hours. We do it in whatever type of conditions, hot, cold, rainy, sleet, hail. We do it and we get the job done well. We take our job very serious. We make sure that everything we, as a laborer, we do it to the utmost respect and the courtesy that the employers put us to. My brothers and sisters and their family hopes the lawmakers come back to the table, sit down, roll their sleeves up, do whatever it requires to get this bonding bill passed. Because my brothers and sisters and the laborers and the other trades respectfully is trying to make sure we don't have to tell our families that, we lost our jobs because of the lawmakers being stubborn and not willing to negotiate on anything, and also to keep us off of unemployment. Thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Fred Livingston with the Local 563.
Hi, my name is Statz. I'm an apprentice with the Carpenters Union. I've been training in my trade for over 2.5 years, and I have 18 months left until I graduate. When I was younger, I went to college and I found that I prefer to work on a more hands-on environment, and construction was just a natural fit. While I've been taking training, I've been working as a carpenter. Right now I'm building some apartments in northeast Minneapolis called the Keoudon project. I've been earning a good paycheck and benefits, which allows me to look into buying land and building my own home. I used to work concrete, and it was more seasonal, and I would go through all my savings and risk losing my benefits over the winter. However, with the union, the benefits include great health care coverage and a comfortable retirement for when I'm done working. This year's been one of the most uncertain years, and our future feels unpredictable at best. The question of whether there will be work is compounded with COVID-19, and that only makes things more uncertain. We need the legislature to do their part and chart a strong path for our young trades workers. We need this body of lawmakers to pass the bonding bill and invest in local jobs and local projects now. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Keoudon. I'm an apprentice with the IBEW Local 292. I'm here today. I left work early to express my disappointment with the lack of leadership shown during the last hours of this second special session by not passing a much-needed jobs bill. I live in Minneapolis. I've I've been in the trades for about 3, almost 4 years. In 2016, I was presented with an opportunity to become an electrician. I started out as a pre-apprentice electrician and worked my way up. A strong bonding bill and capital investment into our state's infrastructure would have created tens of thousands of construction-related jobs for our state. The union construction industry has the skilled, trained workforce needed to build Minnesota. It's unfortunate that the state leadership in these challenging times cannot do their part in it. The construction industry is important to Minnesota's economy and stands ready to meet the needs of the state's recovery from the economic impacts of the COVID pandemic. We needed a strong bonding bill as a part of the economic recovery that would keep our businesses, local, small, big, and workers, brothers and sisters, children, our future basically, and help build Minnesota's future. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Jason George. I'm the business manager of the operating engineers, Local 49. We have 14,000 members that all work and maintain and build the infrastructure in the state. I'm here to express my profound, it's not just disappointment, it's disgust. My phone's been ringing off the hook all morning with contractors concerned about what's going to happen, and members too. Where are they going to work this fall? Where are they going to work next year? The amount of uncertainty that this inability to get the job done on infrastructure is creating is profound. I know I've spent many hours talking to legislative leaders, the governor's office, governor, everybody on both sides of the aisle about what we face in this industry if nothing is done. Our members have weighed in, emails, phone calls for months. They know the impact that this is going to have, and they did nothing anyway. That rises to disgust for me. There's a lot of blame to go around, and right now you hear all of them pointing the finger. I have to say that I'm deeply disappointed in my friends in the House Republican caucus. I count many people over there as friends, including Minority Leader Kurt Dowd. Allies for years. They've genuinely cared about our members and created thousands of jobs in the state. But last night, with a good bonding bill in front of them, in my opinion, they chose to fight with the governor instead of create jobs in Minnesota. And that's something I just don't understand. Again, there's plenty of blame to go around. There's the way these negotiations have gone and the way they continue to operate down here. It's kind of, it's disappointing all the way around. The biggest disappointment to me last night is when asked by many of us to just get in a room and figure this out, all 4 caucus leaders, they didn't even meet. Hours, all day, they did nothing on bonding. That's something that I just can't accept, and that our union just won't accept. And so we're calling on them. This is just me speaking personally. I'd like to see the governor call a special session immediately right now and get them back in here. Force them to get down, sit at a table, and get this done. These men and women behind me, when things get tough on a job site, things are hard, things go wrong, they don't get to quit. That's what these folks did at the legislature. They threw their hands up and went home. So I really hope that something can be done. We have major problems facing the state on the economic front, and jobs need to be created, and there's nothing they can do that will create more jobs than an infrastructure bill right now. So my message to them is just do their job. When these folks don't, they get fired. So maybe that's what needs to happen to our legislators if they don't too. Thanks.
Thank you to all of our speakers and all of our building trades members who are standing here today bringing this message to you. As you heard, the bonding bill that the legislature failed to pass would have created thousands of construction jobs and generated an economic impact of over $3 billion. We are here with our contractor partners and with all of our building trade partners to ask the legislature to get this job done because it impacts real people. we're happy to take a few questions for the panelists if you have any.
Jessica,
Yeah.
do you have closer estimate on the number of jobs that will be created, the tens of thousands? Be more precise.
Thank you. The $1.8 billion investment, actually due to a new economic impact calculator that we're using in our industry, would create at least 3,800 jobs construction jobs, not to mention all the indirect jobs, each year. So the total investment would create almost 12,000 jobs.
Obviously, this year is pretty different. You folks can't be in the Capitol making your voices heard. Can you tell us about the conversations you have with lawmakers and just how different this year has been for you?
So yes, it's been very different. It's been very challenging. Obviously, what our role is as an advocate organization for the members that we represent is to be able to go and talk to legislative leaders and executive branch leaders to make sure that that message is being delivered. The text is an amazing thing. So we have had to create alternative ways of really communicating with legislators. But it has really not been the same, and it has been very difficult for us to really have the same kind of accountability that we would otherwise expect with a face-to-face kind of relationship. But I'd happy to have Jason or David talk about that as well.
Just a quick comment. It's very true that it's a different environment down here. I've spent a lot of time here over the last 10 or 15 years. It's weird and it's hard. It makes negotiations hard too when they can't do them in person. But one thing I want to make adamantly clear, they knew. It wasn't like they didn't know that not doing this was going to cause damage. They knew, and they didn't do it anyway.
Paul Gazelka was on the radio this morning and gave a pretty dim view of that this would ever happen, even if there is another special session in August or September. And Speaker Hortman said in a press conference this morning, she felt like Republicans were telling her this is it. Last night was it. So can I just get your reaction to the possibility that this probably isn't going to happen?
Not good enough. Senator Gazelka is a good friend, somebody we work with very closely, and I would tell him not good enough. There's an opportunity. They're going to be back here in August. There's an opportunity to finish this job, and that's all that we'll accept.
You mentioned before kind of phone calls, emails folks were sending during the regular session ahead of this one. Are there other concrete actions, kind of stepping up your advocacy game that you're planning over the next 3 weeks before they potentially return?
I'll let Jessica handle that one,
Yeah.
but yeah, potentially.
Thank you for the question. So obviously this is not just an issue that impacts the metropolitan area where we are standing in the halls of government. This is an issue that impacts our entire state. We have advocacy work happening all over the state, particularly while legislators are home, so that they can hear from their own constituents in their own communities how important it is for the bonding bill to get done. Really, it's not an option, not acceptable. We have the real need and the real impact of the failure to make a $1.8 billion investment in the state of Minnesota. That's real money, and that's real jobs, and that's real wages and benefits in communities and schools. And the next 3 weeks is imperative, and failure's not an option. They've already demonstrated they can fail. Let's see them succeed. Last question. Great. Thank you so much for coming.